Storytelling is one of the most powerful things you'll ever use in your public speaking, in your training, even in job interviews. It's the storytelling that you're using. So I want to share with you 3 tips to help you improve your storytelling. And why storytelling? In public speaking, people don't remember what you've said. They remember how you make them feel. And one of the ways of creating that emotional, visceral response, that connection, is through storytelling. So people love to hear stories, and I'm talking about the business story. So here's 3 tips to help with your storytelling. The first tip is don't retell the story, rather relive the story. Transport yourself to that occasion, that client you were working with, that problem that was before you and how you solved it, rather than just go through the mechanics of retelling it. Emotionally connect and relive that story. The second tip is stories need to be short and brief. So if what you say does not add to the story, then by definition, it takes away from your story. So as you're looking at your stories carefully, as you're practicing them, does this content add to the story or does it take away from the story? Dates, times, specifics are often not necessary and don't add to the story. So apply that filter. Is it adding to my story? If not, it's detracting from my story. And when choosing stories, tip number 3, when choosing stories, recent stories generally trump stories from a long time ago. So when you're trying to illustrate a point around decision-making, goal setting, overcoming adversity, the recent ones, the recent news is fresher in your mind and fresher in people's minds. So try and use recent stories rather than those ancient stories that are told over and over again. There is, of course, one exception to that. Your signature story, that one that you're known for, that overcoming adversity, that climbing Mount Everest, that surviving disaster, that TV interview, those signature stories always remain relevant. But in much of your storytelling, look for some recent examples. So 3 tips. Don't retell the story, try and relive it. If it doesn't add to your story, it's detracting from your story. And recency of stories will generally trump old stories. This is Peter Dew, public speaking trainer and coach, wishing you well with your public speaking.